Welcome back to the Odyssey, my friends. I am Mike Odyssey, and well, do I have another video for you today? We are talking about upcoming video games, and in particular, just like you're looking at the thumbnail and the title, The Legend of Zelda Remake. And I'm not going on this based on, well, rumors or leaks, which there shouldn't be any leaks right now because, I mean, there's no proof of it, just rumors. But I'm going based on patents. Patents are legal documents by Nintendo, which give us a little bit of information on what they are currently working on, okay? And so I'm gonna go ahead and break down a patent or a couple of patents Nintendo released regarding a new Zelda game, potentially a new Zelda game. And so we're gonna go into it based on that. And I think it's very exciting information here that kind of proves Nintendo, yes, is preparing for that next Zelda game. We are getting the 40th anniversary of Zelda this coming February. And yes, February is also a Nintendo Direct month. And well, if Nintendo repeats what they did with Mario this year, they would probably give us a full hour Nintendo Direct with some of it allocated to the 40th anniversary of Zelda, where we could see this new Zelda game. All right, so before that, let's go ahead and I'm gonna ask you if you could subscribe to this video. We are so close to 60,000 subscribers. I would really appreciate you if you enjoy this content, if you enjoy the effort that goes into finding these little details here. I would love for you to also hit that thumbs up and leave your comment down below. Even if you disagree, it's okay. I really welcome it. I welcome discussion. I'll make sure it's also, very respectable and everything. Leave it down below in the comments. All right, let's go ahead and get into the video. First of all, I'm going to show you this right here. Search. Look at all the patents that Nintendo just released. Starting, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the latest patents Nintendo just released. Okay, and as you can see here, they were all released today, so you're getting this right off the bat. These patents are ones that I just discovered literally minutes ago, and I want to go over them with you. They are, the majority are related to The Legend of Zelda, and of course you will see some patents, some mechanics that could be for other games, but it could also be implemented into newer games. Now, I went ahead and I looked this up right here. I made this question and I said, if Nintendo were to release a remake of Ocarina of Time, could they add a glider? Okay, so of course the Gemini said yes, Nintendo absolutely could add a glider to a theoretical remake of Ocarina of Time, but it would require fundamental changes to the game's design. Remakes are not just graphical updates, they are often introduced new gameplay mechanics to improve or modernize the experience. Okay, so I mean it goes on to break it down, which is really cool, right? Like how they would implement these graphics here. And this is not impossible. You know why? Because, well, they remade the Final Fantasy VII, right? Final Fantasy VII was a turn-based game. When it comes to the battle system, it was a was it, what do you call it, wait turn or something like that, turn-based or whatever, time-based, turn-based or whatever, but then it became like a fluid kind of more of an open battle system type of gameplay, right? Of course, they also adjusted the timelines and the story to kind of fit the newer modern, and then they divided the game in several games instead of just one. They extended the storyline, more details. Now, this is not to say Nintendo could do the same exact thing, but that they could also do the same exact thing. If they were to reintroduce an Ocarina of Time remake, you can expect Nintendo to go even deeper with this game and not give us a complete shot-by-shot remake of the original game. They're gonna go even further. They're gonna tell us the same story with added elements, new game mechanics, right? Maybe we'll probably end up fighting on top of an opponent or whatever, right? But there is a lot of things that could go into this remake, and we could expect something good and bigger and different to come from Nintendo, right? So don't expect the shot-for-shot remake with all the same mechanics and everything. New things could be added to this game. One of them could be a glider. okay, a glider and the way of falling. Where do we know this? Well, some games from Zelda have gliders. Some games, of course, I'm thinking all games have falling. And then of course the I would say the latest game, Tears of the Kingdom, has this state of falling like here, and so does what was this game? Skyward Sword. Sorry, left my head. Skyward Sword has this type of falling, right? We have gliders, we have this type of falling, and we have these right here, the kind of that state of falling. And so you can tell Nintendo is actually talking about a Zelda game in this patent, right? We move over to the next patent. What do we see? We see Nintendo kind of giving us the fuse technique here, right? But in a little different way. The next patent we see here is like a ability thing, like something to enable ability. We see here 40 points required. We see points owned 100, and we see here the ability to kind of press and hold to activate this ability. And so it shows you when you press the letter A, it fills up all the way, and then it enables that ability. So there are a couple patents here that can all be tied together on enabling abilities. Now, Ocarina of Time could be a crazy remake, right, from the ground up, not just in polygons and graphics, but when it comes to the actual mechanics and the abilities and a whole bunch of stuff. We can get a completely different game mechanic wise with the same story, brought to this modern era, right? Not as an exact game like when it came out on Nintendo 64, right? We could get something very big different. Now, another patent that just came out as well is this right here. This one right here is another patent that shows a person looking up into an image, because the image is brought into attention here, 210 right there. And that little image there, I don't know, to me it looks like Zelda, right? Like hit Zelda. Let me go back here and put Ocarina of Time. I'm doing this on real life time. I'm not editing it down, so you guys see my process. But if you look at Ocarina of Time Zelda, Ocarina of Time hit Zelda, right there, right? And then we look at the images here, and there is a resemblance, right, with her hairpiece there, right? There is a resemblance here. If we were to put her in an image right there, like on a wall, which by the way, kind of this kind of looks like it right there. So again, there is no picture of Zelda in Ocarina of Time like hanging on a wall, but this does not mean it won't change, since Nintendo will probably give us more to look at. Maybe they will give us a big castle we can go around and actually see the new image, right? But here is, again, this is all theoretical, theoretical for fun, right? I'm not really telling any of this could happen. This is just speculative, conversational, right? Discussion. I want to hear exactly what you think as well, right? And so we see here an image that kind of points to a little character that looks like Zelda with the little headband thingy and her thing here. I don't think these are the ears. I think this is just that little headpiece, right? That kind of goes here, and she's just there, just like kind of smiling, right? And then we have the character go up, and here we have the character again on the wall. But as you can see, this is more, it looks like a more, a different game, like a more realistic kind of figure there. We have another image from this character in a different pose that looks like Link, as you can see there, right from a side, the sideburns here, the hair, kind of looks like Link, like an adult version of Link. Of course, when Nintendo creates these images, they are not going to dress him up like Link or even have him look anything like Link, from a side, from the back. But at least from here, this part right here, it does look like a Link, right? And then from a side, of course, these are not images that Nintendo has concrete when it comes. These are just dummy images to describe what the character will be doing. For example, there will be like a little triangle here guiding you up, right? And then this is what it's talking about. And then it shows you the character. Let's call him Link for now. From every angle, like from the top angle, you see the little hair there. From the side angle position, from the back angle, kind of pointing up, like you have to be walking that way, or we'll go in the opposite way. The camera view from the character's point of view here, and again, this image here showing what could be Link looking up at the image of Zelda, Kid Zelda, on a second floor, right? And so, yeah, and then we have the character going up and so on, and we land here at this character here, and then we have something going on here around there, like something's happening around the character, right? Maybe it's part of the story or whatever, but here we have again the little picture of a character, which in my opinion, again, I'm not saying it is, okay? My opinion could be Kid Zelda from Ocarina of Time. And all these patents, okay, if you come to think about it, this could all be related to the Ocarina of Time remake, okay? Even with new mechanics, because it is possible for Nintendo or any gaming company, when they do a remake, to update their mechanics to more modern ones, just like we saw in of course Final Fantasy. From Final Fantasy to Final Fantasy Remake, the mechanics changed completely. The story was adjusted just a little bit, but it was still the same story. The characters had new abilities and so on. And so this is something that maybe not a lot of people have been talking about, because they want to, you know, I understand Zelda fans. I understand how, hey, don't change too much, right? We want to make sure that this is still Zelda. We want to make sure that this is still close to the original Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is like one of the biggest Zelda games of all time. It's like the most talked about, most acclaimed game. Of course, it's because it was the first 3D Zelda game. But if Nintendo does remake the game, they're gonna give it a facelift. They're gonna give it new mechanics. They're gonna keep the story intact. They might add more layers to the story, more lore, you know, things that they couldn't add the first time around, since it was really literally their first 3D Zelda game. And so at the time they were restricted by tech. Now they have the freedom and openness to add more to the game, and maybe even split it in parts, right? Ocarina of Time Remake 1, 2, 3, you know, and then, you know, and so we have to keep our open minds to see what if this Ocarina of Time remake is true and concrete. And I'm guessing with this patent now gives a little bit more credits, because this is a document by Nintendo, as you can see here, October 14, 2025. This is before the Legend of Zelda 40th anniversary, which could be coming around the corner. And so putting it all together, my friend, it's looking likely that we might get an Ocarina of Time remake, but not just any remake, a game from the ground up, literally from the ground up, brand new title named Ocarina of Time, with the same storyline, new mechanics, new elements, and just a beautiful looking game. Who knows if we'll get an open world just like that. I know Zelda Ocarina of Time was kind of an open world title, but, you know, open zone, I would say. But who's to say we don't get a new one this time around? Now I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is this all garbage, gibberish that I just said? Let me know. I want to know. All right, let's go ahead and end this video here, right? And then start the discussion down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Before I let you go, never give up and journey on. Peace.